I love these Christmas stories. And I love them not just because they're 2,000 years old, but I love them because they're an invitation for us to join in, become part of them, and let them speak to us. And it's almost like we're invited to become actors in those stories. And their significance for us right here and right now is just so real. Like we heard in the scripture and also heard in the pageant that the angel Gabriel came to Mary. Now, angel, the meaning of angel is messenger. And the Bible never describes who those messengers are and how they look and how they move and how they're about and all around. But the message of the Bible is God still sends messengers. There's still messengers among us. Have you ever heard, of course you do, like you are a God sent? That's a messenger. You have had people in your life who have been God sent at specific times, at specific situations. So the message of this scripture is God is sending people. Messengers are there, and messages are there if we but pay attention. And maybe you are to be one of those messengers. Maybe you, by the way you are kind, by the way you listen, by the way you smile, by the way you hug someone, how you share yourself, maybe that is your message to carry. You see, old story, but it's about us right here and right now. It's the message that is real and present. And then what does Angel Gabriel say? He says, God is with you, you're God's favorite one, or God favors you. We may think like God is with you, far away. But the message is God is with you right here and right now. Often unseen. It's like God's world is not far away, it is in this world. There is another world, and it's in this one. So that's where the sacred and our secular, the sacred, the extraordinary, and our ordinary lives intersect where they come together. God is with you. That is the core message of our whole Christmas story, of our whole lives. And Emmanuel means exactly that. God is with us. Not far away, but present, incarnate. That this eternal God becomes real, flesh and blood, just like you, just like you, just like you. You are embodying that living God, just like Jesus the baby, vulnerable. So we are meant to be children of God, daughters of God, sons of God, to carry that God's light, that God's presence in us and among us. I remember that just a lovely middle schooler from youth group, I call him Brandon, and Brandon had a rough home life. He was struggling. And how we picked up on that is, well, he came in sneakers and they were tied up together with duct tape, and there were several things that where he was struggling and he didn't know kind of where he belonged. And I've met Brandon later on, after a while. And Brandon said, I had no idea how rough life is growing up, that there was so much responsibility for him, getting a job, finding an apartment, paying the bills and all. It was rough for him. Now what Brandon really needed and what he got in youth group and later on with mentors was One stable relationship from a responsible adult to help him through those transitions. That's all it takes. Can you see the messenger in there? Who has been with Brandon? God with us means we with each other, because God uses us. God uses you, your hands, your hearts, your smiles, your listening, your opening up, your caring. That is how God is at work among us. Brandon really needed that, and the community helped him along that. So how is God with us? Well, through you. That's the main message of this season. And then the angel Gabriel tells Mary, joy. She exudes that joy. And there's this small little quote, joy is an indelible sign of the presence of God. Think of when you are excited, when you are filled with joy, that's how the presence of God is among us. That's why when I see the little children, the spark in their eyes, this wonder, this awe, this wow, it's real. And into that joy, we're invited in to tune in and to share it and to exude it and to live in it. And then one more message comes to Mary from Angel Gabriel, because she was puzzled, she was overwhelmed, she didn't know how this is all going to work out. She had no idea what this would mean for her life. All the pain, the suffering, and so on with Jesus and as a mom, and seeing him all suffer through that. She had no idea. But the one message she does get is, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. And don't we need that message too, to be grounded and being rooted and say, life has challenges, my friends. You tell me, anyone here who never worries, anyone here who never faces challenges, anyone here, raise your hand. I'll follow you. We face hardship. We're part of the human condition. Heartbreak, loneliness, struggling, tension in relationships and families, you name it. The message of the angel is, do not be afraid. Face it with faith in your heart. Faith and courage is not the absence of fear, but it's kind of the worry, the fear that sets its prayers. You do it anyway. It doesn't go away. It'll never go away, but you do it anyway. You face it. And we're invited to face it just like Mary, where Angel Gabriel said, do not be afraid. Did it take away the pain, the struggle, the suffering, the tears? It did not take it away. But that we're not facing those challenges alone. That's what matters. And what does Mary do? What she does in the face of all the challenges, in all the unknown, in all what she could have worried about, the one thing she says, yes. She says yes to God. It's like, may it be just as you planned. This saying yes. Yes to her purpose, yes to her carrying Jesus, yes to God being at work in her and through her. And isn't that what it is about for each one of us? Saying yes to God. Saying yes to God. Even when it's rough. Will you open up like Mary? And when life feels like a roller coaster, hold on in faith and trust that, yes, God is with us, Emmanuel. That's the promise. Will you say yes to God? And how will it show?